When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, a holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
Dr. Raj.
Dr. Raj Dasgupta.
The most interesting pulmonologist in the world.
Welcome to the Dr. Raj Podcast, a show all about empowering knowledge, addressing difficult topics, raising awareness, and being positive. Dr. Raj is a quadruple board-certified physician, associate professor of clinical medicine, and the associate program director of internal medicine residency. He was a co-host on the TNT series Chasing the Cure with Ann Curry, as well as a regular on the TV show The Doctors. And now, here's our show.
Hi, and welcome to the Dr. Raj Podcast. And what is this a podcast of? A podcast of happiness and wellness, amazing people, great stories, and yes, I love sports. And you can catch me watching some basketball. I may attempt football, maybe flag football. But one thing that is my super passion is soccer. And I do have some trophies my mom kept on my shelf in her house from way back when. But, I take a lot of pride in it. And I love our Major League Soccer here in the States. And I am so lucky to be part of California because we have the Galaxy. And what better person to interview than someone who's passionate about something I love, which is performance. So we have a special guest today. His name is Jim Liston. He is a director of high performance and innovation for the LA Galaxy. He started his second stint with the Galaxy in 2021. He worked with the Galaxy from 1998 to 2003 and was fortunate enough to be part of the group that won the first MLS Cup for the Galaxy, and that was in 2002. His role will be responsible for collaborating with the medical staff, performance staff, and coaches as they build the optimal training environment for the team and for each individual player. The department will utilize the latest in technology combined with tremendous staff experience to make the sound, informed decisions that will help drive success on the field. So Jim has a Bachelor's of Science from UMass and a Master's of Education from Springfield College, which he received in May of 1992. 6 weeks after graduation, he drove across the country to wonderful California because it has been a dream of his since he was young to come hang out with me here in beautiful Southern California. And with that being said, Jim, how are you doing, bud?
I'm hanging out with you, Dr. Raj, so my dreams have come true.
I love it. You already put a big smile on my face. So, even though me and you, we love soccer, I want to make sure that, the people listening could just get a feel about, how it started and how is it growing. So tell us about MLS. Are we going to take over the NFL, the NHL, the NBA?
I know we love soccer. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But, I will tell you that the North American Soccer League in the 70s was really the first go in the U.S. to try to push soccer. And you had Beckenbauer and Pele coming to kind of finish their career here. But just kind of the infrastructure just wasn't built for that. So, professional soccer disappeared. Then the 94 World Cup, which was here in the States, saw a couple games at the Rose Bowl, I'm sure, was the impetus to start another, give it another go. Major League Soccer began in 1996 and started with, 12 teams. So it kind of just, let's start this thing slowly. And there were some dodgy years there where they contracted back down to 10 teams, but Mr. Philip Anschutz was able to help prop up a number of teams. And today we have 30 teams. San Diego comes into the league as the 30th team in Major League Soccer. So we are for sure here to stay.
Wow. I'm going to do a throwback because I didn't realize it started after the Olympics. My folks brought me to watch soccer at the Rose Bowl. And I remember the big gun for the U.S. team was Lexi Lawless. Am I saying correctly? He was like a defender of some kind, right?
Yeah. Defender, big red curly hair.
Big red curly hair, man. Right. And that soccer was just nuts because that was when there was an incident about Colombia and the United States and wow, we won, but bad things happened to one of the Colombian players during that game. Am I saying it correctly timeline-wise?
Yeah, there was an own goal, and that Colombian player was murdered later.
Oh my God. So that's when I was starting to feel the vibe that, hey, soccer is going to probably start creeping into Western United States more and more. And then 2 years later, that's when they developed MLS, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
And we, the Galaxy, are one of the first core teams.
Yeah, we're part of the original group, right? The original 12, the LA Galaxy. Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah. So with that being said, are we the best in the States? Do we have the most trophies? Is anyone better than us? Do we have bragging rights?
We have bragging rights. We earned bragging rights back in 2014 when the Galaxy picked up their fifth championship in 2014. And then this past year, December 7th, 2024, we picked up MLS Cup 6. So we've now leapt ahead of DC United 2 trophies.
Wow.
So we have 6, DC has 4. So we are, continuing to try to set the standard in the league. And, the Galaxy's a very important club, not only in the States, but around the world. People familiar with the Galaxy. I mean, you had early on Kobe Jones, Mauricio Cienfuegos, and then you had David Beckham came, which was a big deal. Everybody knows when he signed in 2007. And we've had Robbie Keane, Landon Donovan, Ibrahimovic, Chicharito, and now we have Gabriel Peck.
So let me talk about Beckham, because everyone knows Beckham because it's him. So did he win for us? Did he give us a couple of trophies?
Yes. Yeah.
Did he give us one trophy or multiple trophies?
2011, 2012.
Well, he went back to back.
Yes.
So he was worth every penny that we paid for him.
Oh, the amount of exposure he brought, professionalism, the number of people around the world that would start to watch.
Yeah.
And he's just a class guy. So he brought his class on the field, but he brought his class into the locker room around the world. And, he was a great ambassador for the club, but also for the league.
Wow. No, I know it's kind of like the analogy for my hockey fans, like Wayne Gretzky, right? Going to the LA Kings and bringing all that hockey culture here and everything.
Yeah. LA. Yeah. That's a great analogy how it did that. And now you have Leo Messi in Miami.
Yeah.
Dave Beckham is a part owner of the Miami franchise, and he brought Messi, who was arguably the best player that's ever played. So that has elevated the league even more around the world.
So were we as the Galaxy a little jealous that Messi didn't come over here and hang out with us? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. That's a front office question. I'm not going to answer that one.
So did we go head to head with Messi this season? Did we kick his butt, or did he give us a butt kicking?
So I think in part because Miami was coming to the league with Messi and David being a part owner, that they thought it would be a good idea if Miami and the Galaxy played in LA to start the season. We were the first game of the year in 2024.
Okay.
We went up 1-0. Right near the end of the game, one of our guys gets red card. And of course, Messi scores, ties the game 1-1. And that's how it ended. And then you kind of were hopeful that by the end of the year, maybe we would meet at the end. But there was only one of the two of us that remained to the finals.
So, I'm watching this show called Ted Lasso. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so, when it said it was a tie 1-1, I remember early in the first season, he's like, oh, I totally forgot there's ties. What sport ends with a tie? Like, does it still frustrate you a little bit that there's ties in soccer?
Not really. I think they tried early in the late 90s, but early when the league started, they did this penalty shot. They tried to kind of North Americanize it, where if the game was a tie, you picked 5 players to dribble 35 yards and you had 5 seconds to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't last very long. They called it the shootout. It was a little bit embarrassing almost.
Okay.
Like, you know what? A tie is a tie.
Okay.
Right? Every soccer and football, I mean, it's a tie. So I don't love how it ends when you go to penalties, but at the end of the day, a tie is a tie. You get a point. Both teams go home with a point.
But then, when you watch at that really high level World Cup and it's time for penalty kicks and someone shanks one and the game, oh my God. Like I get like angina. Like it's so stressful. Oh my God.
So stressful. And, coaching kids, your own kids, when they're taking a shot. But the most stress, I think, is on the goalkeeper and then the parents of the goalkeeper.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. Totally. And I never met something that's all or nothing. Like the goalkeeper, blocks it or, prevents it, which is, it's really set up for the goalkeeper to fail, but they do it. They're so celebrated. Oh my God. Greatest person ever.
Yeah. The amount of pressure that they have to withstand is pretty incredible, really.
Dude, totally. So, okay, I could talk this part of sports forever, but you're here because of sports performance, and don't give me a lot of shop talk because I want to make sure everyone appreciates this. In simple terms, what is sports performance? Is this something new, or has it been around for a while?
I don't think it's new. I think it's changed names over the years. 25 years ago, if you were in Mexico and South America, my role would have been called a fitness coach. In the United States, you called it a strength and conditioning coach. And at the time, the resources were pretty light. So there's an athletic trainer who dealt with the rehab stuff. And then there was the performance side, which was everything in the gym, conditioning on the field, nutrition, return to play when guys were coming back to the field. You just did everything. And that's really what it was all about. Then as time ran out, if you look back 10 to 15 years ago, and we'd use heart rate monitors to measure the workload for the guys. Then as GPS became popular out of Australia, Catapult's the company that we currently use, but there are a number of other companies out there that you could start to quantify how fast guys run, how far they run, accelerations and decelerations at different bands. And that was a change where you start to say, okay, we're more from strength and conditioning. You start to say sport science, sport performance. And it's pretty vague, but if you were to say sports performance, you'd fit all of those things in there. You'd fit the scientists, the sports scientists in there, the strength and conditioning coach, the fitness coach, the dietitian, somebody's in charge of return to play. So the roles expanded. And rather than having kind of somebody that is doing everything, it's getting people that are specialists in each one of these fields.
Interesting. So let me ask you a specific question. So to get this information, they're wearing sports monitoring devices during practice, I assume. Does anyone wear these monitoring devices during an actual game? Are you allowed to?
Yeah, so they do. Right.
So where do they wear it? Is it a wrist? Is it
you wear a vest. It's like a half shirt. It's like a half vest, like a half vest. And then there's a pocket on the back of your neck that has the GPS unit in it.
No kidding. So when I see my NBA hero Lakers play, sometimes they wear this white kind of underneath shirt. Is that could be like a sports performance with something on the back monitoring their stuff, kind of?
It could be, and I'm not certain with the NBA if they allow that. I don't know. But if you were to look at a soccer game, and you'll see the bump on, it's not a part of their cervical spine. It's actually that unit, that GPS accelerometer gyroscope there.
No way.
And the reason why we use it in the games, that the data we collect from the GPS unit, we want it to be the same as practice in games.
Yeah.
Because you can get broadcast data to talk about how fast a guy ran, how far he ran, but it's different. Yeah. And we try to make sure that we're quantifying the amount of work the player does, which is really what you're doing, that we're using the same metrics and the same system throughout practices and games.
Oh, I love that. So, I mean, I'm going to ask about what your day's like, but is part of your day a quick snapshot, you just putting your nose in front of a computer and looking at all these screens about different performance stats and trying to, interpret what happened that practice or that day? You got to be kind of dorky for a while when you do this?
Yeah, there's a time, and that's usually after training.
Yeah.
The data gets uploaded, and then we'll look through it. And because what we need to do is give the information to the coaches who's in full training, whose training needs to be modified, who's in return to play, and who's out. So we all get together. We get performance and medical staff. There are 9 of us, and we'll meet at the end of each day, and we'll talk through each player.
And are you the boss? Are you the one yelling at everyone?
I don't need to yell.
So hey, let me ask.
But I could. But I think because I'm my age, I don't yell anymore, and they don't want me to yell. So.
Let me ask you.
So we'll get the objective information we'll get the data from the training session, which is objective information. Then we'll get subjective information from the staff.
Okay.
Because it's important to quantify training, but that's only 2 to 3 hours of the player's day.
Yeah.
The other 21 hours are about recovery.
Okay.
So, we want to know if somebody's wife just had a baby and the baby's sleeping in the room and he's having a hard time sleeping. How can we help with that? Because recovery is essential, whether it's sleep or nutrition. So we try to talk about that. And then our director of sports science then goes into the coach's office at the end of the day and presents the players and what group that they are in.
So of course, the player's like, please let me be in the in group. I'm ready to play group. Don't let me be in the out group, You
don't want to be in the out group. You're right.
So
you don't want to be in the in group for sure.
So a couple things. So, I guess I already kind of, talked about that part of your day. So in the morning when you wake up, I assume you brush your teeth. What does your day look like as far as beyond, we already talked about the ending, look at the data. What do you do throughout? What is your day like most of the time?
Work-wise or right when I get up? What do you want?
Oh, man, I don't know personal about your underwear and everything, but I guess once you get to work, what's your day like, dude?
So if it's the first day, if it's a day off, after a day off, we bring in our director of medical director, our sports science director, head of S&C, and our head trainer and I.
Okay.
And we just go through each one of the players before even that first practice comes back.
Okay.
And why we do that is, during an off day, sometimes players come in and get some treatment, but then there are other times they don't want to get treatment, but they'll send a text to the head trainer. And we want to make sure that we know where every player is preparation-wise that first day.
Okay.
So get in early. We get that taken care of. Most of the staff, all of the staff, they either work out here or they work out at home. And then we come together and then you have breakfast. And at 9:15, guys go in the gym and they'll do their prep work.
Yeah.
And then at 10 o'clock, guys are out on the field for the warm up. And then each day has its own physical demands or recommendation for each day. So I'll typically find myself with the iPad and clipping the drills, which means every drill that we do, we just want to quantify them separately. So it's not just one big day of data. It's what did this drill cost today? What did this drill cost today? And then we just add it up as we go. So we know when we've reached our goal for that day. And we just let the coaching staff know that, hey, we met our numbers.
And also, would this help the coach decide what drills to perform, saying this drill has minimal benefit? This is the one that really got the most out of your players. So do you help in those regards? Yeah.
So we will structure the day. So we typically go 4 days of training before a game if we only have one game a week. So you're off on Monday. Tuesday, we call it our strength day. So we want a lot of acceleration, decelerations. Guys leave the field, guys go into the gym. Wednesday is 3 days before the game, and that's our conditioning day. So the spaces are big. So it's 8 guys against 8, 9, 10, 11 versus 11. That would be our conditioning day. Thursday, we call our speed day. We want guys to hit 88% of their max velocity on this day.
Oh.
Because you have to sprint during the week if you're going to sprint on the weekend. So those are acquisition days. So we have a goal for each day of what we're trying to get for the players. Then the -1, which is, we call it game day -1, is the day before the game. It's freshness.
Yeah.
You can only mess it up. Like like you can only do too much work. You can't do too little work on the day before the game. So guys come in, do a 6-minute warm-up. They do rondos, which they really enjoy. 5 guys, 6 guys on the outside, 2 guys running around trying to get the ball. We do agilities. We do some set pieces. We play a little bit, and then we try to get off the field.
Okay.
That day is the shortest. That's the shortest session. You just want the guys to be clear of mind.
So let me ask you this. So, I mean, those who haven't played or watched the sport, I could tell you that soccer, it's draining. It's nonstop running. You just can't sit down and cross your legs, especially depending on what position you play, like the midfield. So, you're elite athletes, and all athletes are kind of elite. So I feel weird saying that. Are they pooped after one of your games, regardless of what you do? Like, give me some Gatorade. I need a break. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yes. The quick answer is yes. The uniqueness of soccer is it's 2 45-minute halves, and you only get 5 subs, and there are no timeouts. There might be like somebody gets injured, they may stop the play for a minute, but at the end of the day, you may go an entire game where there's no stoppage of time. The ball goes out of bounds, they throw it in, or they kick it in. So it's continuous for 90 minutes, and guys will run 6-7 miles in a game. And a good deal of that, 10% of that can be above 12 miles an hour, which is sprinting. So you can imagine, okay, maybe you're running, you can go out and run 7 miles, but you've got to do a lot of that at speed and change your direction and focus and concentrate. So sometimes there's a physical exhaustion. Other times there's a mental exhaustion, depending on the opponent you play. And the environment matters. So here in Los Angeles, it's typically nice, might be a little bit hot, some games in August and September, but for the most part, mild. You go to Seattle, Vancouver early in the year, it's wet, it's cold, it's raining, could be snowing. You go to Salt Lake City, you go to Denver, you're at altitude. You go to Houston, Austin, Dallas in the summertime.
Yeah.
Orlando. I mean, it's high heat, high humidity.
Yeah.
So when the guys, I tell you, when we go to Texas in the summertime, those guys come out of those games that's probably the most spent we get, is when you have high heat, high humidity.
Yeah.
It's more exhausting than going to altitude in those other places.
Of course. I believe you. So this is a good setup for this question. So you being, your passion and performance, is your role crucial for the team's success?
Yeah. Yes.
And expand on that, man. Expand on that.
Yeah. I think, as I mentioned earlier, that my role used to have a lot of moving parts. We did a lot of things. And as the resources came in and we can hire more people, you try to hire people that are better than you at what they do.
Of course.
But my job is to find the best people around the world. I've got my S&C guys from Australia, and my sports scientist is from the UK and worked for Leicester. So you can go everywhere. Our second team strength and conditioning coach is Portuguese, and he's from Toronto. So my job is to try to find people that are super good, that knows what winning looks like, because we're the support staff. We support the players and we support the coaching staff. That's our role. So I need to find really good players. And they are my players, you know what I mean? Really good staff, and then help mentor them, because they'll have gaps too. If you're really great at something, you're probably not as good at other things. My job is to create an environment where everybody feels valued, because people do have experience, so that they have a voice. When we're in my office, you can say what you want, but when we leave, we're in alignment.
That's awesome. So are you guys, your players, are you guys, I'm really into Ted Lasso right now. Are you guys a team? Like, did you guys do Secret Santa this year? Like, are you guys really close?
No, but our guys are close. And early on, we had the Navy SEALs come for a day, which was terrific. We went to the beach and had these team bonding competitions, which was really great. It's a great way to start the year. And then as the season went on, we had a couple of the young guys that would barbecue and bring the younger guys over. So once the team starts to do, and our captain had barbecues and invited guys over.
Who's your captain?
Ricky Pooch, Ricky was really our second captain, and Maya Yoshida was our lead captain, I would say.
Okay.
But the idea is when the leaders will have barbecues and bring the guys together, that's a good thing.
Oh, that's cool.
When it's not generated by the staff.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, hey, tell me about some tough things. Like, what is the most challenging part of your role, and how do you respond to it?
Most challenging part is when somebody's coming back from injury is making sure that when we're testing them, getting objective and subjective measures, that when we put them on the field for their first game back, that they're ready. And because there's pressure to win, and people want the best, coaches want best players on the field at all times. Our job is to make sure that they are ready to perform in that game. So there's this, and it's a natural friction, right? There's a natural friction between the performance and medical. We're trying to get them to move forward. Medical saying, okay, let's keep this safe, which is normal, which is great. And then we come together and let the coaches know when the players are ready. So the stress of saying your best player is not ready for Saturday is, for me, the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Because in your heart, you want the player to play.
Yeah.
They haven't met the metrics to do that. And, it's about winning. And if you don't win games, you don't make the playoffs. You don't make the playoffs, you don't win championships.
Yeah.
And you don't win championships, you don't keep your job. So there's a lot of stress, and it's always, making sure that we are doing right for, and at the end of the day, the health and well-being of the player is number one. So you just start there. But it doesn't mean that some of those conversations aren't difficult.
Of course.
And how I try to deal with it as I get older is I just try to meditate before I go into the meeting.
Well, I'm glad you said the answer wasn't, it's Jack Daniels that I have underneath the table,
No, God, no. Either that or I send Tom Williams, my sports science director. He'll go in.
Okay.
Because everybody needs to get used to that's for our role.
Yeah.
That meeting is the one that takes you to the next level of you've matured enough to handle that meeting.
Totally. So I know, what you do is, there's many different, facets to it. So let me ask you about, food and nutrition. So do you have a personal philosophy about food and nutrition when it comes to your players?
Yeah. Yes. And we're fortunate that Herbalife's our jersey sponsor, and they provide us with 2 full-time dietitians.
Oh.
And all of the supplements that we want, and all of that comes, and it doesn't cost us a dime. So we get 2 sports dietitians that are experts in the field that work with us. One is primarily in charge of the first team, and the other one's primarily in charge of the academy. We have almost 100 kids here that go to school. So, and we get personalized with their nutrition.
Wow.
Utilizing them. Yeah. So, going back to the question about me, when I first started it, and it hasn't changed, that it's getting players to make sure, okay, everybody knows you have a good breakfast, but the idea is that you're getting something that breaks down quickly within the first 30 minutes after training, and then you're getting something else within 2 hours. When I started in 1998, the guys would, they come in after training, they'd sit in the training room, they'd shoot the shit, and it might be 2 hours before they ate anything. Now they come in, they get a specialized shake by the flavor they want and the calories and vitamins and minerals that the dietitians recommend, and it's personalized, and they get with that within 30 minutes. Then, so if they go into the gym or they go into the training room to get treatment, we're good. We've already started to recovery. The recovery process is already in play. Then they shower up, and then they have another meal. And then the suggestion is that you have a snack at 4 or 5 o'clock, and then you eat again dinner. So my personal is 5 meals a day, 5 different colors, fruits and vegetables. Pretty simple. So you're grazing, you get 5 colors. And if you can do that, it's pretty simple.
So, hey, let me talk about supplements, because many people ask my opinion for other reasons about what supplements are out there. I just want is there any favorite supplements that you or your dietitians seem to really encourage more than others?
Yeah, vitamin D.
Okay, cool. You're in the sun all day. I don't know if you need any more than that, but all right.
Omega 3s.
Omega 3s?
Yeah, those are the big two. And then when you start, we do have beet shots and we do have tart cherry. Sometimes the guys have a difficult time sleeping. They'll have tart cherry. Beet shots has been proven to be good for from blood flow. And we have beet shots, and then we have immune shots that have garlic and ginger and taste terrible that the chefs make. So, I think if you have a really nutritious and healthy diet, you're probably okay.
We're on the same page. Totally.
But if you're not, and you're a high level athlete, and if we can simplify it and put it in a shake or a drink or a pill, then we are ensured that these guys get what they need. We got young guys, we got 20, 21-year-old guys that don't know how to cook. They're going to go out to eat. So when we have them in the building, breakfast and lunch and after training, like we try to get it all in. You know what I mean?
I love it. Hey, let me throw one more in there. So, hey, boys are boys. We're in California. We have In-N-Out hamburger. You always catch me sneaking off to get a double grilled onions, cheese. Do they sometimes slip one in there when you guys aren't looking? Like, yeah, I caught you at Burger King, dude.
Yeah, 100%. We had a player last year that was all about the doghouse. And the players that tease him that he was that earlier in the spring that he was customer of the month at the doghouse, and they had his picture, which was not true but could have been true. But it leads to a conversation because his body composition is at a place that it isn't optimal for his position. It's a midfielder. He needs to get up and down the field. This guy needs a lot of high speed running, is going to run 7-8 miles in a game. And he just changed. He said, you know what? He's young. He just changed his mind. He stopped being customer of the month. He lost 8 pounds.
No, I believe it.
And he started in the MLS Cup final.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's a champion. So I think we're pretty fortunate. The guys that come here are pretty honest because there's no judgment. It's just you catch them you don't go, what the hell are you doing eating at the doghouse? You catch them later and say, hey, this is what your body composition is. Players that are in your position in the league, this is how they operate. Do you want to be great? Do you want to be the best that you can? And the guys, they'll say yes, right? Because no food tastes as good as it feels to be running around the field, not getting as tired as your opponent.
Yeah. Hey, so let me do 2 more questions. This one, hey, it's kind of like, it's what I do for a living, so I'm really curious how you answer it. So how does the Galaxy measure performance in regards to sleep?
So we have, can I say the company that we use?
I don't care. I mean, totally say the company.
Okay. So we have a deal with Aura Ring.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And they're all over the place. Oh, my listeners, they're expensive. Dr. Raj can't even afford one. You wear it on your finger. They tell you everything. So good for you guys.
Yeah. So there's a ton of metrics. And again, you just got to decide what's most important, but it'll tell you how much deep sleep you had, REM sleep, light sleep, how many times you awoke throughout the night, what time you went to bed, how long it took you to fall asleep, when you woke up. And so from the player standpoint, it's not like we're spying. And there's a dashboard, and there are a handful of players that let us see all of their information because it's private.
Yeah,
they don't have to share it. If they choose to share it, great. But what's helpful is that maybe they don't realize they're not falling asleep because I am in my screen right up until the time I go to sleep.
Yeah, totally.
And so maybe if I wanted to, maybe I've got some glasses that reduce the
blue light.
The blue light, or maybe I just don't do it.
Or just don't. I like that. It's even better.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great in training, and you realize maybe your room should be cooler. Maybe the pillow's not right, but it elicits conversations about their sleep and their recovery because sleep is the key.
Yeah,
if people
totally.
sleep well, you are eventually going to go down the path to leading you to possibly being injured or certainly have a suboptimal performance.
So two
that
questions.
part.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you go first. You go first.
That's more from the player and just interventions and And they trust us. We don't share things. Coaches don't need to know that. They come to us, hey, you're in bed at 3, what's going on? And it's private. That's one piece. The other part is when we travel, let's say we go to Colorado, games at 7:30, finish at 9:30, get in the bus at 10:30. You're getting home at 3, 4 in the morning. Through this information, we can say, oh, so-and-so, you got into bed at 4 in the morning. These guys are getting in bed at 4 in the morning when we go there. Should we stay the night there? Should we have move training? And what we ended up doing, it's hard to stay the night if you don't have to. So we would make training 1:00 in the afternoon the next day. And that information was based on, this is really when these guys are falling asleep. If we ask them to come in at 9, they'll get maybe 4 hours. And then they're, who knows, for the next couple of days. So that information from a team decision-making standpoint is good as well. So there are kind of two benefits to it. There are plenty of benefits, but there are two primary benefits: helping the player if they're having difficulty sleeping, and then making decisions for the team when we travel.
And you answered one of them already, which was, when you actually, the time change, when you cross time zones, when you're playing Miami and LA. So I'm glad that you are making decisions like that. So the other question I was going to ask is, do you and the Galaxy encourage napping, where if someone's sleep deprived, they need a nap? Are you providing that area in your facility? Do you encourage it?
We don't, and it's a really good question. And a lot of the teams that are playing the Premier League and play in La Liga, that they have hotels, they have sleep rooms.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge advantage. We have this little family room, which talk about maybe converting to that.
Okay.
Especially in the preseason when you may have a practice in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But just to take a nap if you can. Yeah. There's value to that in the preseason. I think as the season goes on, most guys are going to get out of here by 2 or 3 o'clock. They'd rather get home and take a nap. I think for staff, though, if I had a nap around 3:30, I think I'd be productive till 7 o'clock if I could take
and not even to mention like any sport, you know what I mean? Anxiety as you approach the big game. Yeah. Sleep is hard. And I'm glad that you and the Galaxy take it seriously. That's totally awesome. But once again, Jim, I'm always chatting too much. I have one more question to ask you. Do you still have some energy left?
Yeah.
All right, man. This is the closer right here. Okay. So do you have any advice for anyone who wants to pursue a job in professional sports? There's a lot of my listeners that want to be in that at so many different levels. What do you have to say?
Yes. All right. This is the first thing they need to do. Figure out what sport they're most passionate about. And it's very likely a sport that they play. You go to I'm going to use soccer as an example because it's easy.
Yeah.
And you then go volunteer for a youth team. You find your coach, you can find a high school team, and you say you'll do anything. I'll fill water bottles. I'll move the cones. I will wash the pennies. I'll do anything that you need me to do. Because the first thing you need to know is the language of the sport, right? If I say soccer, it's the U14s, and in volleyball, it's the 14Us. So if you're not even speaking their language, you don't know. Is it a penalty? Is it a joker? Is it a wild card? You need to know the language and tune in for sure. That's the first and most important thing. Then the second thing is, what current courses are you taking? Are you in high school or are you in college, right?
Yeah.
Something with the science-based, kinesiology, biomechanics, athletic training, sports psychology, sociology, just hit an array of them because you're really not sure what you're going to do. Maybe you're the data scientist. Maybe you're a super math nerdy gal, but maybe not. Maybe you're the personality on the field, get people excited to do and know who you are, right? Because if you're the kind of really good on the field person and you decide to go into data, that might not be your strength. So make sure you're going with your strength, because what you have to do is when you decide that, you have to be great at it. You have to be better than anybody in the building, period. So you got to be passionate. You got to understand the volunteer and understand the language. Try a bunch of different classes to figure out which one suits your strengths and your joy, because you got to bring joy to the room. Because if you're going to come into our office here, you're bringing joy for something. You're an expert at something and you're going to bring some joy, and that has to come from you.
Totally.
And now we've got plenty of interns. There's a sports science program at USC, which is terrific. athletic training programs that we'll get from Long Beach and Cal State Fullerton. Terrific. The kids come in here, and I said, "You want to talk to anybody in the building about training or how to use a diagnostic ultrasound? Fine. You want to talk about getting a job? You come talk to me." Because if you're going to school and you're spending this kind of money, you need to get a job when you get out of there.
Yeah.
And you need clarity. And to get clarity is to do that, right? Is find your sport, find your passion, understand the language, take as many classes as you can, and then get an internship somewhere that you've got to get in, because we hire interns.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We have all 3 of our athletic trainers that are with the academy were our interns.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah. So that's an in.
Yeah.
And it's getting an internship. Maybe you're like the sports scientists, they're data people coming from USC, but we put them on the field to lead warm-ups with our younger teams, because maybe they're better at that, but maybe that gets them a job.
Yeah.
Because I asked one of the interns a year ago, and I said to her, if somebody were to ask me about you, what would I say? And when I say that, it's like, what are you great at? And she didn't have an answer. She said, I'll come back to you. And then she came back and she sat down and said, Jim, you know what I could do? I can go anywhere and I can say, whatever data your current team is using, I know how to use it and I can make you better.
There you go.
That's what she works in the NWSL right now.
Oh, really?
She's a data scientist. She manifested it. So just be clear.
Okay.
That would be my advice.
I love it, man. Well, I can tell you one thing, Jim. I heard good things about you from our mutual friend, Brian, but you have a lot of passion and you're one cool dude. And I can see you having a temper, though.
Only when I'm competing.
But hey, you know what? I really enjoyed you being on here. Did you have some fun?
Yeah, Dr. Raj, of course. And I listened to the podcast here with Brian, and I'm friends with Rich and Mia Finnegan. And I remember you on TV. I think you must have been on TV 20 years ago, right?
Oh my God, not that long ago, but yeah.
Come on.
You'll catch me there. You'll catch me on the media from time to time.
I've seen you around. Listen, you have a great spirit.
Thank you.
And an expert in your field. And, I just appreciate the time that you gave to let me chat a little bit.
You got it. Well, hey, everyone out there listening to this podcast, I hope you enjoyed it. The time flew by. I love talking about performance. And everyone stay tuned in the next couple of weeks for the next Dr. Raj podcast.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Dr. Raj podcast. If you enjoy the show, then please make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app and leave a rating while you're there. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. This has been a production of MedPrep2Go, and you can learn more at medprep2go.com.